At the State House, lawmakers continue to work on how much Indiana plans to spend over the next 2 years. Today, people who run the other state programs and not-for-profits made their case. They are asking for funding.
13 News State House our State House reporter Emily Longnecker is here to talk about what they'd like the state to spend money on over the next 2 years. Emily?
Republican lawmakers have repeatedly said this is going to be a lean budget year because there is less money coming into the state. Now, today, the chairman of the Senate Appropriations, State Republican Senator Ryan Mishler, said if an agency wasn't in the budget at this point, it's unlikely that they would be added, because if they were added, then somebody would have to come out. That didn't stop organizations from coming with their requests on everything from investing in the state's military bases to growing Indiana's MedWorks program for Hoosiers with disabilities. Members of Indiana's Defense Task Force, created by lawmakers in 2019 to identify ways to expand military bases in Indiana, asked for $50 million to fund a military base infrastructure grant program, an appropriation that's not already in this budget proposal.
But the problem is we have no funding. The legislation was passed, but there was no funding set aside for the program.
Republican Senate President Pro Tem Roderick Bray said he couldn't say if funding could be added later for the program or others not already in the budget.
You got to make tough decisions when you're crafting a budget and trying to make sure that you're spending within your means, which of course is our first job.
Another request above what's already in this year's budget proposal: more money to grow Indiana's family medicine residency program. According to testimony, by 2030, Indiana will need 800 more primary care physicians. The current budget proposal has $7 million a year allocated to help the state's residency program. The ask today was for close to $14 million.
We've made such good progress in adding physicians for this state. And I'm sure you understand that if you graduate a residency in Indiana, more likely you're going to stay in Indiana.
Again, when asked about more funding for programs already in the budget, Senator Bray saying it will be hard to find that extra money.
If you're somebody who is in the budget now, staying flat is probably a win for you.
And there was a lot more testimony from many other groups and many programs and organizations, some who work with crime victims, others who work with the state's youth. There were also calls from some who testified calling for increases in the state's cigarette tax. Both Republican State Senator Ryan Mishler and Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray saying the Republican caucus is in ongoing discussions about that. They're open to that, but they can't say for sure if that will happen. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.